Hey guys, so what are some of the traps of seeking enlightenment, understanding and practicing things that hopefully will lead to non-dual realization or the void or any kind of pointer that you may have encountered in your readings and have been fascinated by. I'll just encounter. I'll go over a couple of them that I've gone through, I've read about, and also that I've just encountered with relating to people. Um, Sometimes you can get too dogmatic. Sometimes you can get kind of too depersonalized with the experience yourself, or and sometimes you can get too defensive around the ideas that you've now rationalized or come to believe or understand as absolutely more right or more true. So yeah, starting with like dogmatism. Um, Sometimes when you start to really pursue like change or a practice, it can be meditation, yoga, diet, Buddhism. Um, you can find some like really helpful aspects that occur, and then at the same time, you kind of become too rigid around it. Like you have to do it every day. You have to make sure you do it at the right time. Um, if you don't, then you're doing the wrong thing, and this can create this kind of whole like internal pressure, this dialogue of like, well, if I don't get my meditation today, I'm really gonna ruin my practice, and you can be stressed like the whole day trying to figure out the time to do it. But I mean, of course, you want to have like a practice, but then I'm also pointing towards something like you can get really tight around it. Maybe it's around food, like you have a diet that's been helpful, but then you have no choice but to eat something that you can't, or you've told yourself you can't, or you shouldn't, and you're like you get really stressed around it, and you think it's gonna mean something about you or life, like you're breaking some big rule. I mean, sure, maybe there are things you can't eat because you'll die or have a bad allergic reaction, but a lot of times it's just ideas you have around food or your belief system. Sometimes you get angry at people who are in your way from getting towards what you think is like that needs to be done. Like you're rushing through like a relationship or interaction or something just to get home so you can meditate and do your practice and achieve enlightenment. So this is something you have to like kind of notice. Maybe this video points it out. Maybe it gives you an aha. Oh yeah, I get pretty tense around this. Those are usually things that you can kind of like relax around, because you could say the ultimate goal of like any of these pursuits towards um, greater well-being, peace of mind, enlightenment, if you will, is not about being rigid. Um, Another one is just like you can get kind of depersonalized or so far out there. Maybe you've had some sort of major um, Kundalini experience or awakening experience through meditation or some drug experience, and you just can't relate to yourself or other people or life. It seems fictitious. Like you now have this idea through that insight that like it's not real, it's not there, it's not um, what it seems to be. I'm the person that gives all meaning to all things, so therefore there's no meaning to things because I'm not giving it to the. Um, these are kinds of ideas that you can benefit from, and at the same time you can get kind of so taken aback by that, like you have a hard time just going out and having some fun, having a beer, getting a little tipsy, enjoying just having a sexual encounter, um, going out and having a good time at the movies with some friends. Just that's included in this process. That's included in the whole of things. There's no things that are spiritual and not spiritual ultimately. So it's like you don't want to get too rigid that like you come to a place where nothing's real, and and you're just like, you're not real and they're not real, and you're just kind of inwardly freaked out about it, or pushing things away because they're so-called not real, or you've determined they're not real because you read about it, or you had a slight insight into it, and then now you're trying not to have those things be real in your experience, because too real is not uh, void. Too real is not non-dual. Too real is, however you may find yourself just getting kind of estranged around these new insights and ideas. If you're getting just if it's too hard to relate to people and to circumstances and to just kind of chill out, you probably need to relax a little. Maybe let in the fact that maybe there's more to understand and to be open. There's a good chance you're going down the wrong path, so to say, or you've missed the mark a little. Another trap that can happen is, let me see, it was dogmatism, depersonalization, was it defensiveness? I think that was it. If it's not, then I'll go with this one. Sometimes we can get really defensive around the new ideas and insights that we've gained, because sometimes when we originally start on this pursuit of like enlightenment or non-duality or understanding the greater purpose or truth behind what is, we're already in a place of feeling or believing ourselves to be inadequate or lacking or scared, and we're looking for some ideas or something to make us feel better, and this new spiritual pursuit can be that. We can kind of grab onto it in a way that is both healthy, it makes some positive changes, but at the same time it's also a little bit of a protective measure. We find ourselves using it as like a shield to protect ourselves from someone else's opinions. Sometimes we use it as a shield. If someone brings something to our attention, like, oh, hey, you're kind of being arrogant or aggressive in this situation, and you're like, no, I'm not really here. There's no such thing as these things. They just happen. There's no control. Like, there's just ways in which we can kind of like be defensive or not wanting to look at ourselves, so to say, because we don't exist. That's like the insight that a lot of teachers can point to in this enlightenment, non-duality zone, and that it's just easy sometimes to use it to be defensive or to protect your ideas, because if our ideas somehow turn out to be not as true as we thought they were, or as solid as we had hoped or believed, then what does that mean about me? What does that mean about things? Sometimes that can be a threat. It's like, oh my God, then if I don't know, then I'm just bullshitting myself, and all these things I've been learning and saying just aren't true, and I'll be a schmuck, and I'll be whatever. There's just so many ways in which we can feel afraid of being open with this pursuit and what we're learning and understanding, because some people just they immediately want to attach on to, like, oh, I'm everything, I'm God, I'm the one, and therefore I have ultimate authority or opinion, or and there's not anything wrong with me or anybody, and there's this kind of dynamic that can form within a relationship with this person, or you can observe that just seems a little off, like and this is something you have to gauge once again for yourself. You may through this interaction, this video, you may go, oh yeah, maybe I'm a little defensive. What is that about? maybe you'll have to use the, so to say, the power of moment-to-moment self-introspection that occurs naturally. Like, oh, yeah, I am defensive. Huh, maybe there's something to that. Or, oh, yeah, I feel very clingy and holding to these ideas that I have. There's something about it that feels like I'm being too controlling around it. Again, I can't say exactly what it is for you, because sometimes this phase and this transition through meditation, introspection, taking on a new approach to life, so to say, can cause some weird internal dialogues, experiences, outlashes, confusions, craziness, which is just maybe unavoidable. But again, this video is just more of a reminder, a pointer, and yeah, something more than that. It's not meant to be a criticism, but just more of a warning or a pointer to some of the pitfalls that can happen. All right, so I hope that might be useful for you, and if so, great. Have a good night and take care. Bye.